Okay. So see, talking about these goals that you mentioned, right? So everything is set up during the start of the year, right?
Uh-huh.
So the goal part that you mentioned, right? That is more of a, this mainly comes under the talent and performance.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Talking about the goals are normally set up during the start of the year. Normally the goals can be organization goals, individual goals. Talking about individual goals, it's not mandatory that the individual goals will be set up by the individual person, right?
Okay.
So there are mainly two type of individual goals. Okay. Talking
Mhm.
about one type of individual goals is like which you can mention in other term as a target, right? Or what
Mhm.
is the company expecting from you as an individual? Okay. If you are as a
Right.
manager, what is their expectation as a manager? Okay.
Okay.
So individual goals can be anything that is not mandatory or that is not that much important from the organization perspective. That is something which is always optional. But talking about the individual goals which is set up by the company, that is something which is the main criteria. Okay, that
Mhm.
comes into picture during the performance review cycle.
Mhm.
Okay, because based on those goals, only they are going to judge whether the worker performed based on their expectation, and depending upon that, the grading happens.
Mhm.
Talking about the organization goals in most scenario remains common throughout the organization. Organization goals are something like with respect to organization that you have to work diligently. If in case there are some 4 or 5 core values that any company has, you have to adhere with that. You have to behave properly. So these are the basic goals that comes into picture, right? Like what as an organization they are expecting from you. So those are pretty much basic, right? Like let's take an example. If you are supporting any client, right?
Mhm.
So let's take an example that you are doing the job on a timely manner.
Customer satisfaction, you will
Yeah,
say?
customer satisfaction. Okay.
Mhm.
If you are a salesperson, so organization goal will not be important like it will be with respect to sales perspective or sales target. It
Mhm.
will be more as an how as an employee the company expects you to be. So those are mainly the organization type of goals. Let me see if there is any organization goals here. Organization.
So organization goals can be set up at a department level, right? Super level, right?
Yes,
And the top level as well, right?
correct. So normally organization goals are set up in such a way, right? It is mainly set up at the organization level.
Mhm.
Okay. And mostly as I said, right? Like for most of the organizations, the goals, organization goals remain same. So they set it up as like all the organization and subordinates, right?
Okay.
So it can be set up in that way, but again, it depends, right? How they want to
So
set
tell
it
me
up.
one thing then when we set up organization goal at the top level, so it automatically flow down to each org, super, subordinate super, or
So it's
uh,
up to you how you are. If you are choosing, like it should only be set up for one specific organization, it will be set up for that organization only. If you want for this organization and all the supervisory organization that comes within under that,
Mhm.
for all of them, so it's up to you in which way you want
Okay.
to set it up.
Got it. Yeah. Excuse me.
So normally you can go and you can review if in case you have the tenant access, right? You can go and you
Yeah.
can review in your tenant as well, right? You should be able to see all those details. Like what
No
goes
problem.
like, for example, you can see here conduct customer service, right? It in 95% customer satisfaction.
Is
Okay,
a
related to a
benchmark,
specific
right? Basically.
organization wherein they're talking about global support. Okay,
Mhm.
means there might be something related to customer service, right? Customer improve customer response time, right? So these are two of the organization goal that they have set up for this specific organization. Similarly, we can set up different organization goals depending upon those respective organizations. Okay.
Let me log into my tenant also and see there.
So you can review all those items at the later stage. Okay.
Okay.
Once
Okay.
we are done with the session, if in case
Sure,
you have
sure.
doubts and queries, we can discuss on those items in the next session.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure,
I'm just giving you
absolutely.
the reference, like how
Yeah.
mainly you can review your goals. And if you have any question and queries on that, we can take that in the next sessions. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is about organization goals. Okay. So normally, as I was briefing about, like initially the organization goals will be set up, right? There will be the goals that will be set up for all the. Let me open some worker and let me show for those workers like how that is set up. Let me. This is a practice tenant, so there might be some different scenarios. Okay, unwanted test cases.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can see here, right? There are three options. This is the individual goal. Okay,
Mhm.
like for example, 2020 workday implementation developed strategies to enhance, right? So these are the individual goals that this respective person is having. Okay,
Mhm.
these are nothing but the organization goals. There are no organization goals. Archived goals. What is archived goals? Let's take an example. I have set up some goals for this year. Okay,
Mhm.
last year. So
Mhm.
in the section of archived goals, you will find those goals. Okay, which is already done.
Mhm.
Okay, so those are the sections that you will be able to view here. Performance review. Okay, so the tabs that you can see here, each and everything has a security. If in case you have the respective access, then only you will be able to see it. I'm not sure what all access you have in your tenant, right? Depending
Uh,
upon that only you'll be able to see.
I
Okay.
have recruiting admin, I have security admin, and talent admin.
So if you have talent admin, I think you should have all the access. Okay. There should not be any issue. Okay. So this is the performance review. Okay. So normally, like as we were talking about, right? Like initially the goal is set up at the initial during the financial year whenever it starts for the respective companies. Okay, but talking about the performance review, normally it starts during the end of the financial year if in case the client is following one review in a year. Okay, so normally in this review what happens is, what normally clients do is, they, let's take an example, you're a worker, right? So they will set up the entire review process. Okay, and they will, once they initiate the process, right, performance review process, a task will be triggered to you in the workday, right, wherein you have to go and you have to judge yourself. Okay, how much you grade yourself depending upon your goals that has been set up. Okay, and there will be a grading system. Let's assume normally the grading system is like 1 to 5.
Uh,
Let me show you.
Rating system is performance rating, basically, right? You see?
Yeah.
Okay, rating system.
So talking about the rating scale, it can be anything like you can from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. You can grade yourself accordingly. Okay.
Uh,
So this is something which the employee does first. Okay.
Employee will grade themselves first, right? Against
Correct.
the, and then when this happens, like when they open the performance appraisal window, or what exactly, or they can rate
Yeah.
anytime.
When the performance, normally we call it as performance review cycle.
Okay.
Okay. So once this performance review cycle starts, when it is initiated, okay,
So how that is
and
initiated? Like somebody will initiate, or how does it
somebody
trigger?
initiates, the admin person normally initiates. Okay,
Okay, the performance team.
I will show you all those items like how that is initiated and how things are done. Okay, but normally I'm briefing you about the process.
Okay. Sure,
Okay,
sure. Yeah.
so normally, so it can be initiated for specific group of people, for all the workers, all the criterias and all the feasibilities is possible. Okay, like there might be scenario. Okay, we want to release only for California region employees, or we want to initiate for all the US worker, or we want to initiate for all the countries that we have in place. Okay,
Okay.
so
Tell me
there
one
can be.
thing. There was one question earlier that the performance cycle can be open for a job level also, like they have multiple job labels. So can we open a performance review for a specific job label only?
You can open it at any given level that you wish to have.
Okay.
Okay, let me show you that. Let's take an example. The performance review is already initiated, and after that, you want to initiate for some specific group of people.
Yeah, once we initiate and we close, there is a window, right? That okay, this is the performance cycle ends and
Mhm.
locked, right? You cannot make any changes, right? Correct?
You see, normally what happens is once you are initiating it for all the people, okay, there is a
Right.
limitation in that scenario. I thought if at the initial stage only you want like, okay, I will initiate it for this specific group of people only. I will not
So
initiate it.
that was a separate question, but other question was like, they have initiated the cycle and
Mhm.
they close the cycle. Okay, now
Mhm.
performance update cycle is closed, but
Mhm.
some managers will come back and say that, hey, I did a mistake in the rating. I want to change my rating.
Mhm.
So how do you open it for specific manager, a specific group of people instead of like opening it for everybody?
So see, that is something right. Like if in case already that is done, so first of all, what you have to do is you have to delete those transactions or resend those transactions. If in case those are not completed, they are still in progress, you have to cancel those transactions.
No, they are already completed, but manager says I
So
want to change the rating. You're getting my point? Changing. Like,
yeah.
okay, I did finish everything, but I came back as a manager and I say, hey, I gave rating 2, but I think the rating will be 3.
Mhm.
Right? So they given, completed, but
So
they want
see,
to make
normally,
changes to the rating. Yeah, yeah.
normally what happens is manager has an option, okay,
Mhm.
wherein he can send back to the employee, okay. But if you talk like for all the group of workers, I can do at a time, that is not feasible. Okay, let's take an example. You submitted, okay, you came back to me, okay, you said, okay, this is something wherein I graded myself incorrectly. I want to recorrect it,
Uh,
right? So as a manager, I can do that for, but for it will be for you only, not for all the job levels. At that level, that is not feasible.
okay, but tell me the performance, like what I'm talking about is the cycle. You start a performance cycle
Yeah, so
and
let try to
yeah,
understand, right? Like how mainly
yeah,
this works. So as I
right.
basically like once the performance cycle starts, it will go to the employee. There will be some set
Mm,
of questions. Okay, let
mm.
me show you. There is already a performance review that I saw. Like let's take an example. This is already in progress, right? View review. So normally what happens is, let me show you the questions like how it looks and how employee mainly does. Okay, this is giving error. Okay, so normally what
Yeah.
happens is, first
Mm,
of all, the employee should review themselves. They should give the grading. Once that
mm,
is done, right? That
mm.
goes once the employee submits it, it goes to the manager. Okay.
Okay. Mm,
After that, manager will review that.
mm,
Okay. And normally in companies, what they do is manager will have one-on-one session. Okay,
mm,
with the respective employee. Okay, let's take an example. You did some grading, right? There are
mm,
chances like you can grade yourself more than what you have delivered. There can be a
mm,
number of scenarios, right? So manager will review with him. Okay, you have graded this much on this, and after
mm,
that there will be some discussions, and based on that, manager will finalize. Okay, you graded yourself 5, but I think 5 is not justifiable because you did this, so and so. So you
mm.
both came to a conclusion, and the manager graded you finally 4.
Mm.
Okay. Similarly,
Right.
like that, there will be multiple levels on which they will do grading. It's not like overall you have to grade only one time. There can be multiple questionnaires, right? We can set up templates. We can set up the performance review template wherein we can highlight
Mm.
multiple scenarios wherein you have to grade yourself, not only on one,
Okay.
right?
So who does this templates, like HRIS
Templates
team or
as
the
a
manager?
consultant we have to do.
Okay, we have to do set the
Yeah,
template,
we
right?
have to do it.
Mhm.
Okay. I will brief you like how the template is done, what the employee can see, what the manager can see. Each and everything can be limited and restricted. Okay. Whether you talk about competencies that we set up within the template, right? Each and everything can be configured or altered or managed or changed. Okay.
Sure.
On what items you want them to comment as well, rather than grading. I want, okay, you have to justify like why you're grading this much for yourself, what you have done exactly. So I can mandate the comment section. Okay.
Okay, got it.
You will mention, okay, this I have done. And after mentioning that, you can give yourself grading as a 4 or 5. Depending upon that, you will have a discussion with your manager. Once you discuss with the manager, and finally, manager will finalize that and he will submit. Okay. After
Sounds
that,
good.
it might go to maybe the manager's manager as well. So talking about this process that I'm briefing, right? This is something that internally company decide. Each and everything can be changed, right?
Okay.
Normally it is going to the employee first. After that, it's going to the manager, again manager to manager's manager. After that, it will get finalized. So talking about all this process, right? All this process is being maintained by the business process, performance review, start performance review. Can you see this?
Yeah, top here. So that's a default definition, or?
So this is the practice trend, right? So you might not find anything as a default. Normally, in your company, I think there will be a default one only, and they might have multiple others, but normally it should be the default one. Okay. So normally you can see this is something someone has, for practice purpose, someone might have created it. So you can see there is an initiation step. So when the performance review start, okay, once this is started, after that it goes to the complete self-evaluation, which is going to employee as well. So it will go to the employee. After that, complete manager evaluation. Once this is completed, it will go to the manager evaluation. Okay. After the manager evaluation, it can go to manager evaluation.
It depends on how you set up, basically, right?
Yes. After that, for the confirmation purpose, once that is finalized, right, the employee should know, okay, this is the finalized grading that I have got. Okay. Once everything is done, once it is completed, a notification might go to the employee. Okay, this is so and so grading that you have got from your managers and approved from the manager's manager. For all this step, there is a specified timeline that is set up. Okay. Normally, when we start the performance review, so we keep things in mind. Like, let's take an example. I am initiating the performance review as of today, but this is going to be in the system effective maybe from November 1st. Okay. I want to give my workers more time to complete their performance evaluation. So what is the timeline that you want to give? So each and everything can be maintained and handled. Okay. As per the requirement.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the brief about the entire performance review that goes on. So for you, first of all, you have to gather the requirement. Okay. Because every year the performance review that they want to do, it will differ. Right? Maybe from the business process point of view, they want to make some changes. Right? Talking about from the business point of view, there might not be some changes, there might be some changes, right? In the process point of view. Talking about competencies, talking about a rating scale. Okay. Talking about what all options that the employee can see, what all options that the manager can see, right? There might be some changes with respect to that. So this is the technical aspect. Like in the backend side, they will not tell you, okay, you initiate the performance review, you do that. They're not concerned about that part from you. They will tell, okay, in this performance review, this is what we are expecting. Okay.
Changes, basically, and I have to go
I
back
want the
and do the
business
changes
process
in
to
the
be
system,
changed
right?
in this manner. I want the performance review template. Second.
And this performance review template is going to be for global for everybody, or it keep changes,
You can have multiple performance review template depending upon different group of people that you have in your company.
So they will give me the template basically how they want, right? Basically, I
No,
just
they
need to
will
set
not
up.
give you the templates, right?
But the
They
requirement
will
they will
be.
give, right?
This is
What
not
how
the
they want to
first
see,
time.
right?
This is not the first time that your company is doing the performance review, right? There
Yeah,
might be an
no.
existing template, right? In that one, they might ask you to make some changes. Okay, this is something which we have to work on. Okay, talking about you have to create a new performance review template. Okay, this is something which you will be doing. And there is one limitation with respect to performance review template. If you have created any, right? And if that is used, let's take an example, you created a performance review template, right? And you did one performance review for one employee. After that, you cannot make changes to this performance review template.
Okay.
This
If
is
it's
the
in
rule.
use, then we cannot make changes, right? Need to be okay.
Yes. Okay. So these are the various. So let us look into the. We open that. We do not have view, right? Search write view in the before or yeah, because I don't want to configure a new.
Yeah. View review talent.
No, that is
This
a
one.
report. That is a report.
You're looking for task.
View employee review template. Yeah, open that. Fourth one. Fourth one. Click over there. Active by review type. Go to performance review. Third one. Annual review. Okay, you have mid-year check-in. Okay, open for 2023, the latest one. Year-end performance review. Okay, open that. Click cross this. Okay, so see, this is the review template that they have set up. Okay, so see, talking about, wait a second, looks like they have something you have to. So normally when the requirement, you will have discussion, right? So they will brief you like how this performance review is being run. Because see, this is the normal name, annual review. Okay, this is the name of that review, like 2023 year-end performance review. Okay, applies to regular employee hired before Q4 current year. So this is only for those workers. This annual review is only for those workers who would satisfy this criteria. Can you go to the related action of this applies to? Beside year, there will be a three dot that should pop up. Yeah. Open that in a new tab. Employee review rule. No, 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 no. There it already employee review rule is coming, right? Open this view in the new tab. So this is the criteria for this specific annual review. They have defined like hire date should be first day of the calendar quarter, less than or equal to first day of the calendar quarter, and employee type is regular. So only this group of people are eligible for this annual review. Go back to the previous tab. Okay. So whichever worker will satisfy this, they will only come. Period started, period ended, they have kept it blank. Okay. Anyway, I'll brief you about all this options that is available here, right? Scroll down.
Okay.
Okay, so talking about this annual review, so there are four sections that they have set up. First one is goals, second one is values, third one is questions, fourth one is overall. So they have four different section type. Okay, go to the magnifying glass of the goals. Beside the goals, we have magnifying glass. There will be three dot. Click on the three dot. Okay, scroll down, and this one that is popping now. Scroll down, yeah. So for the goal section, see here they have set it up. Like for example, I'm just giving you a brief. I will discuss about the like for example, you can see item comments, all reviewers. So like who all can mention the comments? Okay, it's all reviewers. Require item comments for manager and employee. Means comment is required. It's mandatory. Like manager should also provide comment. Employee should also provide comment. If you talk about, if you scroll down it up, you can see the rating scale, right? So rating scale is again important. Okay, they have not decided the rating scale. So maybe this is for this group of worker, they do not want to judge based on the ratings, right? So that could be a scenario. Cancel this. Okay.
Okay.
Can you cancel this? This configure employee review template. Can you go there? Yeah, click there. Scroll down. Can you see this goals, values, questions, overall section? Configure section, go to the goals one.
Click on configure section.
Yeah. Normally it will not allow you to edit, but click over there. Yeah. See, normally this is the limitation that I was talking about. So you are not able to see any goals. The reason being is this is already being used. If in case this employee review template section is used by any of the employee, you will not be able to make any changes within the goal section.
Okay.
Okay. So normally this is for you as a testing. Like let's normally what will happen is you will set this up. Okay. After that, you will test from your side and someone from your team or maybe from the management, they will be doing the testing. Okay. After doing the testing, they say, okay, I want to make these changes. Right? The goal should not be this, should be this. Or there can be another scenario wherein they can tell you, okay, within goals, we have this many questions. Let's make it to 2 or 3. So you will not be able to make any changes until or unless you delete all the one that is already completed. So you have to delete that. After that, you can edit here. Okay, cancel this. So this is the limitation that I was talking about.
So if the goals are being used by any employee, then you can't make any changes, right?
Correct. Cancel this. Now we'll tell you like what they will be mainly expecting. So scroll down. So normally you can see the sections, right? Template section configuration like goals, values, questions overall. This is normally the section that you have to set up. They might say, okay, I want to use the same for the upcoming year. So normally you will do nothing. You will copy this. You will create a new one. That's it. Okay.
We'll make it for 2024 now, right? This is
Yes. This is
2023.
for 2023. We'll make it for 2024.
That's it.
Right?
Okay.
There might be some changes. Okay, they can let you know, okay, this is the change that we are expecting. So you have to get those changes done. Normally, remember, as you do not know much about this, if they ask you anything that it is feasible, that is possible. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they'll
Talking about
ask
the
me. Okay,
limit.
can we do this? Can we do this? Right? So I need to give them
So
answer. Yes, we
normally you
can
can
do
say,
this.
yes, this is feasible. Okay. Most
Let
of
me
the
test
things
it.
are feasible. But I will tell you, like what normally is not feasible. If they have already done something, like you gave me a scenario, right? Like in wherein they said like the review is already completed and they want it for a specific group of level of people, right? That is not possible. So
That's
there
not possible,
is no
right?
limitation. Once anything is initiated and after that you want to make changes, at that point of time, things are not possible. Okay. Before that, whatever you want to do, okay, you can make changes, whatever is needed. Okay. Before the launch is happened, right? One launch happens mainly for the testing purpose, right? We initiate the performance review and maybe sandbox or in maybe implementation tenant for the testing purpose, right? At that point of time, if you suggest any changes, we can do it, right? But if in case you have launched it in production, right? After that, you will come back and you will ask me to do. So I have to cancel that, the entire process, and I have to redo that. So normally, this scenario should not come up. For avoiding this scenario, normally what we do is, whatever the requirements that they have, we gather the requirement, we get the requirement from them. After that, we will do the configuration. We'll ask them to test. Once everything is tested and everything is done, after that, things will go into production. And another thing is, once it goes into production, right? The employees are not supposed to start. Like, let's take an example. I have moved all the talent and performance review item in production on Friday, right? So on Monday, again, it will be in sandbox. So normally what I do is we test it again in production. We test it again after production is done in sandbox just to make sure like everything is good or not. And if you are still expecting any changes, let us know now. Because if in case any employees goes and start the performance review and they completes it, we will not be able to make any changes to the
template.
Yes.
Okay. Template cannot be changed, but
Correct.
once rating is given by the managers, can the rating can be changed later on or no?
So the rating can be changed. The rating, there is no issue. Go back to the BPs are not available, right? Or else I would have shown you like what are the options that we have.
Yes, I'm not able to access the sandbox from here. Like, maybe one is in my office, I can access it with the office network possibility, right? Yeah.
Okay, okay. You do one thing. Search for authentication policy. Let's look into that. If in case they have set it up, view authentication policy. Open the first one. Okay, they have for Okay, go back to the review templates. Let me see how many review templates that they have for performance. Search for view employee review templates.
I think these are there here. Yeah, this is one.
Yeah, so this is for one group of worker, right? There might be multiple. Go to the search view employee review template. Fourth one. Click over there. Active by review type. Yeah. See the PIP plan that you were talking about. Go back once. The
This
PIP
one.
plan that you were talking about, right? So this is for
I don't think
open
so.
that.
They have set up anything there. Yeah.
Yeah. Open this in a new tab. Let's look into like for which group of people they have set it up.
I don't think so. They have set up.
No, it's already there, right?
No, they don't have. I think so.
No. You have clicked it incorrectly. Go back. Go. No. In the review template only, there is a back button that pops up, right? Not the cancel button. Yeah. Click on that. Yeah. Active by review type. PIP. Yeah. Performance improvement. Click on this. Yeah. Yeah. Click there. Now, okay. So they have not set up any criteria, right? Applies to. So see what mainly will happen here, right? Let's take an example. I want to run. So no, normally how they have set it, they have not set it up any criteria. Or else they could have set up a criteria here, like anyone who got a grading of 1 in the performance review, they will go into that. But normally companies does not do that. Let's take an example. They highlight some group of worker and like for whichever they want to introduce the PIP, they will start review. They will start another review, right? Named as performance improvement plan, wherein they will click on this configure. Okay, there is only one section that they have mentioned supporting documents, right? They might highlight something in the documents like if you do not perform this, we might terminate you, something like that. Okay, so that is the scenario. And see, wait a second. Can you see this employees review started too?
Correct. Yeah.
So this is already started for people. Open that. Click on two, highlighted two. Open any of the worker. Yeah. Go to job, worker history. You do not have access to worker history. Maybe in this
Yeah.
tenant you don't have access.
It's implementation, right? So maybe that's good.
Yeah, that could be the reason. Go to performance. Performance reviews. Click on this again. Yeah.
By type
Yes.
and then performance review.
Performance review. Yeah. We have annual review. We have mid-year check-in. So
Also,
normally,
they have 90 days
normally
new
see,
hire check-in, annual review, and
see,
mid-year check-in.
normally you can do one thing, right? When you go on the call, right? What are the pointers that you may ask, right? So normally there are multiple reviews that you can see. This is something which we are seeing in implementation. This might not work. Maybe in tomorrow's session we'll look in detail with respect to sandbox tenant. Okay.
Okay.
So then we will look like what are the reviews that we are available, that is available. So mid-year check-in will not come into picture. Mainly the one that will come into picture is nothing but annual review. Click on
Annual
the
review.
annual review. In annual review, I think we had only one, right? Or how many we have? Yeah, click there. Okay, there are multiple.
Yeah, 2023
Wait
actually.
a second.
It's
23
every
no,
year,
we have,
right?
no, wait. We have 2023 year end. We have annual review. We have compensation performance review template. This is related to compensation, leadership annual review. So can you see this leadership annual review? So this is for leaders, right? There might be a group of people who are leaders. This is for them. Okay, open that. For them, the criteria will be different. Click OK.
So that's ELT, they call Executive
Yeah.
Leadership Team.
Here you can see applies only to leadership. Okay, scroll down.
Leaders. Okay. Goals,
So for that,
values,
goals,
competences.
value, competencies,
Same
question
thing, yeah?
supporting document or additional documents. This is not employee review started 0. This is not started for anyone. Good. Click on the configure employee review template section. Yeah. Scroll down. Click on the goals configure section. Yeah. Can you see this is visible now? Because this is not being used by anyone.
Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah.
Okay. Scroll down.
That's it.
Can you see here? Consolidate. So this all items that we can see here, right? Section rated items. So for respective ones, normally what happens is there are different sections, right? Like goals, other options that we have, right? So normally for every section, how it should look to the employee, how it should reflect to the managers. So all things, all the section configuration works from here. Okay. Scroll down. So you can
That's
see
it.
require item comments for, so all these things can be done here. Cancel this once.
Provide I objective section configuration, level override level, section comments, item content, load
Yeah.
content
No, so I
from
will do one
previous.
thing. After
Yeah.
Monday, what I will do is I will start briefing you from the start, right? I will brief you what is the use of each of the options that we have, what it can do mainly. So like that we will start. This now I'm briefing you. Okay. After that we'll
Overview kind
start.
of thing. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's true.
Cancel this now.
Yeah, I think I have to start from scratch, right? So I understand each point.
Mhm.
Otherwise,
Do one
I
thing.
might understand the top level, but not the.
No.
Um,
So see, there is nothing, right? So first of all, at the initial stage, and that's why I'm briefing you about overall that because that's what you said, right?
yeah,
Or else I will have
right, right.
started from the scratch only, like how to
No,
do it.
that's good. At least give an idea how like entire thing works, right? A little bit more detail. But
Yeah.
why? Yeah, once we start, then we'll start with step by step, right? Okay,
So
this is
we'll
what
start with
done.
like how goals are configured, how it will be configured for a supervisory organization level or in whichever level you want. Just search for view competencies.
View competency. Like, you're talking about the.
Yeah. Click over there. Uh, by category. No. Go back. By category, how they have categorized just.
Ability, behavior,
Okay.
knowledge, leadership, and leadership
Leadership,
skills
go to
also.
leadership. So can you see there are different categorizations that they have done? There are different competencies they have been using, right? Go to the
Mhm.
management in the
Change
bottom.
management.
No, in the bottom I can see management.
It is management, yeah.
Yeah, go to the management. Yeah, open that. Click OK. Can you see the description here? Determines objective and strategies, organize work, set priorities, determines resource requirement, coordinates. So this is for that purpose. So there are different competencies that is set up. Okay. So we'll do one thing. So tomorrow, in tomorrow session, what we'll do is, if in case you have the sandbox tenant access,
Uh-huh.
we will review the business process. Okay. We will
Okay.
cross verify what are the review templates that is available and
Mhm.
what are the questions that you have to ask when it comes to the requirement part. At the start, you
Okay.
do not have to ask anything. You have to understand the requirement. Okay. And
Uh-huh.
after that, what you have to ask, we will discuss. Or after that, what we will do is we will start from the scratch.